Hey everyone, this is Taj Deshawn, and today I'm joined by Nick Porebski, aka Nicky P. Nick is a former Division I football player at Oregon State, and Nick and I have been working together for about 2 months now. And I wanted to have Nick on today to share a little bit about his story, to talk about his transition into life after sports. I know it could help a lot of other athletes who are going through something similar. I had some trouble with the transition myself. And so one of the things that made Nick so great during our time working together was his ability to take action and go after what it is that he wanted. One thing I talk about a lot is conceptualizing versus executing. And a lot of people can conceptualize, I want to lose weight, or I want to get a new job, or I want to make this amount of money. But execution is something totally different. And once Nick and I were able to lock in on what he wanted to create for his future and the vision that he had for his life outside of athletics, we were off to the races. So, Nick, really appreciate you taking the time to come on today, man.
No worries, mate. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. So just to give a little bit of context, why don't we kind of talk about the beginning of your journey before you and I started working together? What was it like for you, graduating from Oregon State and stepping off the football field for the last time?
Yeah, so I obviously played Oregon State. I was a punter there. I moved to San Diego in pursuit of getting into the NFL. My coach, Darren Bennett, lived out here in San Diego. So I moved out here and I was training out here. And, at the same time I was, doing a bit of construction on the side as my job to kind of pay the bills. Once, the NFL didn't work out, I continued with construction. It was kind of tough time, not really knowing exactly where I was going, and kind of just, getting up every morning and, just working hard and physically and obviously mentally too. Construction, it can dwell on you, and it's a tough thing to do. So I was kind of lost and didn't really know what to do with my life. I was kind of struggling with finding other jobs too. Things kept falling through with other positions. So I was just working away with construction. Didn't really have a vision or goal of where I wanted to be. Now that football didn't work out, I also had a lot of memories and I would say a couple of regrets with my playing days at Oregon State. There were some things that always were playing in my mind, and things I wish I could have changed and all that, and that really did play a part of me sort of having some down times in my life after football.
Right. And you touched on a lot of important things. It's, you said you kind of fell into construction, which is what happens a lot. This was the case with me also. Mm-hmm. You spend so much time dedicated to your sport that there's not really time to explore what you're going to do afterwards, because our schedules playing at an elite level are so time consuming, and a lot of times people just kind of come out, athletes get into the first thing they can find just to pay the bills. And exactly. From there, it's just, kind of getting locked into that lifestyle, whatever that looks like, without having time to really explore different options. So completely understand. So, and then you and I connected on LinkedIn. We had a lot of different mutual friends in common. And so we ended up jumping on a phone call, and then we started working together from there. And so, throughout the course of you going through the program and, us working together, what were some of the biggest things that you were able to discover about yourself, or, and some of the things that you had to overcome in order to get you to the place that you're in now?
Yeah, it was definitely, some of the biggest things were even small things like my habits, just waking up on time without pressing the snooze button, and then having a routine in the morning and, before I went to bed. I never had any of this before. And I kind of was just mindlessly sort of going through my day and coming home from work and, having a nap and watching TV, then maybe go to the gym and come home, watch more TV. I wasn't really, educating myself on, things that are going to make me better in the future. Just kind of living day by day. And what I learned about myself is, so many things can be possible with just spending a little bit more time educating myself instead of, mindlessly, watching TV or, entertainment, that type of thing. And like you preach, educate yourself, over entertainment. That's what the most successful people do. And since I've started doing that, my life has, changed quite a fair bit. I'm learning about where I want to be in the future. I'm learning about things that help me mentally to better myself, which is one of the really biggest things is, learning about myself and how to make myself better. And that continues on to watching like podcasts, listening to podcasts, reading more books, all that type of thing, has really helped me to sort of better myself and, become a better person, in the moment and in the future too.
Right. Awesome. Yeah. I'm glad you were able to, take that away from us working together. And the reason that I structure it like that, I mean, each week builds off of the next. And the reason that I do it that way is to try to get you to a point where you're digging deep within yourself and tuning out all of the distractions of daily life, even distractions that, we put into place to distract ourselves from the unhappiness that we feel in our lives, and try to get to the root of, okay, what do you truly want and what skills do you already have present that you can kind of lock in on and spend more time developing in order to get you to where you want to be and actually, carve out a vision for what that looks like. So obviously you were able to discover a lot of things about yourself in terms of where you want to go career-wise. Obviously financially you wanted to be in a better position. And one of the great things we discovered also is that you wanted to go into business for yourself because of the lifestyle it gives you, and also just because of the type of person you are and your ability to be able to pour into others and help others. So did you want to talk a little bit about, what's next for you, what you have going on in the future?
Yeah, definitely. When I can't remember which week it was, it might have been like week 4 or something. We kind of sort of tried to figure out what I wanted to really do, and we went over my YouTube history and looked at all the things that I watch over time, and these big things come up about it was punting. That's what I used to be. I used to be a punter, so a lot of punting videos and a lot of motivational videos, things about the mind and all that type of thing. So me and Taj sort of came up with this idea about maybe starting something to where I can help kickers and punters develop their mental game over, say, the physical side of things, where kids will go to football camps and, learn how to kick and punt, where I would design a 6-week program helping kickers and punters to develop their mental game. So that's kind of where I want to go. And, in the future, I want to develop this business, kind of like how me and Taj do it. We talk over the phone or, a Skype call. And I would, talk to kickers and punters, say high school, college, maybe even in the future in the NFL, and teach them different methods, like visualization, mental toughness, a bunch of different things that can help a kicker or a punter improve their game, not just on the field but off the field too. So I've been working on this now for probably about 5 weeks to sort of come up with this program. Sorry. She's distracting me. Sorry.
It's all good, man.
We can start that over.
If you need to stop, you could take care of it. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
She's all right, man. She's just adding ambiance to the call. It's all right.
1 second.
All right, yeah, no worries.
Charlie, no.
This is real life, folks. No edits. Straight through.
All right.
All right, welcome back.
I think we've sorted it out there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, Nick, you touched on so many different things, man, that I wanted to talk about because they're so important, especially for anybody who's watching this video
Yep.
and is trying to figure out the next move. You know, one thing that I always try to encourage is, and I think I told you this on our first call, and one thing I'm trying to do through my program is to definitely encourage athletes to go into business for themselves because, you know, we have that go-getter mindset. And obviously it takes more than being a go-getter to be an entrepreneur. It takes being able to effectively balance a schedule, being able to prioritize, which is something that you have to do at an elite level. And I think that, you know, whether or not someone works with me and decides to start a business is their choice, but I'm always trying to plant that seed, you know, and I'm happy that that was something that you felt would be good for you. And I'm really excited to be working with you moving forward because I know that, you know, you're going to be able to impact so many people, especially when it comes to the mental game, which is something that is really just starting to come to the forefront these days, attacking life from a mental standpoint, especially in athletics. And I think that what you're doing is awesome. And I know aside from that, you know, you were able to, and I'd love to take credit for this, believe me, but like I said at the beginning, it comes down to your ability to, you know, apply all the things that we cover in each session and see how it fits into your life. And so not only are you starting this business, but, you know, you've been able to go from a job in construction, which is just kind of something that you fell into, to, you know, actually getting a higher paying position, which I know you told me you're being flown out and, you know, possibly relocating in order to, you know, put yourself in a better financial position so you don't have as much stress on your back while you're building your business, which is awesome, man.
Definitely, yeah.
So, you know, I have a few people starting next week, and for anybody who's watching this video and, you know, is going to be going through the program or working with me moving forward, what would your number one piece of advice be for anybody who's going through it?
I would say definitely go in with just an open mindset. I think that's the biggest thing. When I first started, I was kind of hesitant. I wasn't sure if, you know, I really needed, you know, too much help, but I then realized that I did. And I went into it with an open mind, and that helped me so much to, you know, to listen to Taj's advice and sort of take it in. You know, and when I first, you know, talked to Taj, I could talk to him like he was my brother or my best friend, which really, really helped me to connect with him and sort of just talk about things that I wouldn't have expected to be able to talk to him about. And that really helped me sort of getting through the program and made me feel comfortable. And that's the one biggest thing is, you know, you want to be able to speak with someone that makes you feel comfortable and you can open up to them and speak about your problems. And, you know, that was the one big thing about Taj was I was able to do that. And, you know, it helped tremendously throughout the program. And, you know, just everything's, you know, gradually changed over time with the help of Taj. So I'm very grateful that, you know, he was able to help me with the program, and, you know, just the setup of everything and how he goes through it is just, you know, really amazing. So, yeah, that's what I'd say.
Thank you, man. That was thank you for your thoughtful words right there. It really means a lot to me. And I'm glad I was able to create that type of energy for you. You know, anybody that I work with, I want to make sure that we are on that level, you know, where you're just talking to a friend or you're just talking to a brother, like you said.
Exactly.
Because if we can start from that place, which is what happened with us, you know, we're able to be open, and you were able to be open and be honest. And because of that, you know, we were able to explore a lot of deep topics, things that you had never really had anybody else to talk to about, which is another thing that I was aiming for when working with you, to create that safe space so you can get it off your chest, and we could bring it up to the surface, and then not just talk about it for the sake of talking about it, but figuring out, okay, now that we have this out on the table, that we know this is something that's holding you back, now what can we do about it? And how can we attack it together? And what kind of system can we put in place to make sure that this is something that is going to be eliminated, or at least, you know, mitigated to the point where it doesn't stop you from reaching your goals, you know? And another thing that I was really focused on when we were working together is, you know, making you self-sufficient. Like that's the goal for me, is when I'm working with anybody, and, you know, for yourself, it's not for you to be dependent on me. You know, I don't want you to, of course, we and I are going to be working together for a long time, especially with the industry you're getting into. But the goal is for you to be self-sufficient on your own and not have to rely on me for support, because, you know, you're your own man, and it's just a matter of getting back on your feet after that fall from grace. And you've been able to do that tremendously, man. So, you know I told you this a million times, but I'm super proud of you. And, you know, thank you for giving me an opportunity to work with you and, you know, pour into you and help you get where you want to go. So, yeah, man, I'm looking forward to building with you in the future.
Yeah, mate, definitely. It's exciting, you know, definitely where, you know, I'm heading and you're heading at the same time. You know, we're going to be able to, you know, have connections and resources for each other and help our, you know, businesses to grow. And, you know, at the same time, the main goal is to help other people and help, you know, athletes and college athletes and, you know, anyone else that we can. And I think, you know, our relationship now is going to be able to, you know, go towards that.
Absolutely, man. So, you know, before we end the call, I want to make sure that people are able to get in touch with you if they want to find out more about what you're doing. I highly recommend anybody who, you know, whether you're a specialist or otherwise, if you're looking to get some feedback and get some help on your mental game as well as your game on the field, you know, where can people reach out to you or send you film to break down? You want people to get in touch?
Yeah, definitely. Twitter, you know, is the best way to get in touch. Is my handle is Porebski92. So that's just my last name with 92 at the end there. And then my email address, another way to send film would be Nick Porebski at hotmail.com. So just my first and last name at hotmail.com. And that's two best ways to get to me.
Awesome. Well, Nick, thanks again for jumping on with me today, man.
No worries, mate. I appreciate it.
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.